Can you save my heavy, dirty soul? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am safetytess, better known as Tess, and I have compiled a list of story times. Yes, that's with an S. I'm going to tell you all of my 21 pilot stories, from backstage to front stage to the barricade to the very back to maybe under the rug, if that makes any sense. I have worked with Fuel by Ramen, Warner and Atlantic for like 7 years, and I started out as a street teamer, and then I got to do some fun events along the way. You basically get sent promotion to promote the band whenever they're like doing stuff. And in 2013 on the Fun tour, there was the Some Nights tour and then the tour that they did with Tegan and Sarah, I was sent Vessel promo. The first memory I have that has to do with 21 Pilots is their promo that I received. I received Vessel posters and these like Vessel tour cards. And at this time, no one knew who 21 Pilots was. They were so new on the label that the only album out was their first album, and you had to be real cool indie to know that one. And 21 Pilots had the poster with their granddads on it. And there was only one person I remember that wanted the 21 Pilots poster, but I ended up handing out like the rest of the ones that I had. The shock I had in my head when I got back to my car, because I usually keep one poster for my scrapbook out of all the posters. Unless I get like 6 posters, I don't keep one. And I remembered I handed out all of the 21 Pilots Vessel posters, and I was completely gutted because I wanted one and I had given them all out. Silver lining though, 3 years later, I was looking through all my old promo that I left over and I found a Vessel poster. So bless, I have one. Meeting 21 Pilots. The first time and only time I've really interacted with 21 Pilots was in 2013 of March when they played the Warner Sound event. The Warner Sound event was an event I worked a production assistant for in South by Southwest in Austin. And I worked for Warner. Any Fuel by Ramen artist that was like, I guess, on a tour cycle kind of like played this event. Even artists that were not, you know, Fuel by Ramen. We had Atlantic artists and Warner artists. We had artists that weren't even Atlantic, Warner, or Fuel by Ramen. But this showcase, the day they played, was 21 Pilots, Tegan and Sarah, and Paramore, and a bunch of other people, but those are the 3 acts I can remember. I'll put some pictures up of the Warner Sound right here. If you guys want a whole entire story time about the Warner Sound event, I have some hilarious stories about Paramore. I have stories about the Flaming Lips, Fits and the Tantrums that happened over the course of those 4 days that I worked, as well as Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. There are some funny, weird stories that happened over those 4 days from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. every night. So anyways, I was back outside at catering and 21 Pilots were on the bill. The same day Tegan and Sarah was on the bill, so I was pretty concerned with Tegan and Sarah because of the fact that they are one of my favorite bands. So I was kind of like working and they were telling me what I needed to do, and then I got assigned to help Tegan and Sarah with the gifting suite and then go with them to their interviews. So I got to sit in on all these cool interviews with Tegan and Sarah. And then I went back to get my lunch from catering, and there is Tyler and Josh at catering, and Tyler and Josh were just munching away, eating away. Well, they had just like finished eating, or were wrapping it up, and they were about to do either a sound check or just kind of like a check-in, because I don't even remember their sound check this day. And I just kind of crossed paths with them and I said hello, and they introduced themselves and said that they were the band 21 Pilots, and I said, I'm looking forward to your set tonight. Here's a glimpse backstage. This is Tyler and Josh. This guy, I didn't really talk to him. And this is my boss. Well, then let's fast forward to that evening. 21 Pilots plays. I think they kicked off the evening showcase, and they blew the roof off that place. And it didn't even have a roof. They blew the roof that was non-existent off of that place. And all I can remember is the hustle and bustle of people going, who was that? Hey, do you know what band this is? Wait, I can't remember their name. Do you remember what band this was? And at that same time, all that hustle and bustle was happening. All of us were like wide-eyed and like in love with them. Tyler climbs the banister up to the balcony and sings a song. I also believe that Josh had to flip off the piano too, because that's been around since, you know, ancient times. And they got off, and that's my first memory of 21 Pilots, meeting them and working with them and working and doing all that stuff. Moving on, my second memory of 21 Pilots is the same year. It is 2013, and I was doing stuff again with Fuel by Ramen, and they were asking people to do stuff for their show that they were coming to play a club in Austin. I didn't sign up for what they asked because I wanted to attend the show, so I went and attended the 21 Pilots show at Emo's in Austin, which is like a club, but now it's like a big kind of like concert hall. It was incredible. Again, it was still a small venue at the time. This is before their fans were at the intensity that they are now. Right now, their fans are such an intense environment to be around. But this show was so nice. I think I was like 5 people from the barricade because I went after work, and you know, they did the whole shoot and caboodle with, you know, getting in the audience, playing the drums. There was, you know, confetti and all kinds of stuff like that. And Robert DeLong opened for them, and he covered a Rolling Stone song, and I love that. And after the show, I was gonna go meet Tyler and Josh because there were a group of fans that were really interested in meeting them. But I ended up hitting it off with Robert DeLong, and time went by too fast, and I never got to meet 21 Pilots. But I did go to that show alone, and it was a wonderful show. And my biggest memory from that is the iPhone video, if I can find it, that I got because I was under, I believe I was under Josh while he hit the drums, while he was on the wood plank thing. And I just remember loving that video so much and being like, this is gonna be my favorite video of my whole life. See, I wrote them all down in my black book. My black book. The next memory I have of 21 Pilots was when I was going to be working a show. So sometimes when you are a really good street teamer, you get opportunities to be part of the shows or meet the bands or the opening bands and such. And at this show, I believe we were supposed to meet 21 Pilots, but something went wrong and we ended up meeting the opening act, VNYL Theater. I do not like the guest list. If I get put on it, or if I'm offered it, I always kind of am like really iffy about it, and I either want to buy a ticket or be like, no, it's okay, don't put me on the guest list. And that sounds kind of ridiculous, but the guest list is the most like non-sure place in the show that you have, because I've had people lose guest lists. I've had people like throw away guest lists. I've had people be like, your name really isn't Tess, and I'm like, my name is Tess, you can look at my driver's license. So the guest list is the most unsure thing you can depend on. And I walk up to this ticket booth that I'm supposed to be on the guest list on for this show, and the lady goes, you're not on the guest list. So I'm trying to contact my boss, which is difficult because he lives in a different state and we only communicate over email and phone. And he's like, you should be on the list and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I bought a ticket. They fixed the guest list, and I got on the guest list, and I ended up giving my ticket to someone that I knew that wanted to go that didn't have a ticket. So I'm in line, and they come over and they're like, we need these people over here if you're VIP and this and this and this. And so me and my best friend move over to the other side, and they let us in early, and we meet VNYL Theater, which was funny because we made an inside joke and we took pictures, and I'll put them all right here. This was in 2014, and I just remember that still the 21 Pilots audience was not as intense as it is today. But we will get to that later.
Fear, I don't know if you know over here. Oh, you're too deep, please stop thinking. Would you help me light up this place for him with your cell phones? This thing I remember is our beautiful bodies grinding up in the club. Drunk in love. I can't help falling in love with you.
My best friend being like, I need people to not push me because she has concert anxiety, which I made a video about. I'll link it down below. If you guys have concert anxiety, you should go watch that video because it has a lot of tips about concert anxiety. Side note, shameless plug. Now we're gonna move on to some juicy parts. Not super juicy, but we're about to get very juicy. We went from backstage to just experience, and now we're gonna move on to Bonnaroo 2015. So Bonnaroo 2015 was after Tyler had climbed up at a festival and a security guard had pulled him down. It was right after that had happened. Obviously, Blurry Face is out, and I finally really noticed in, June of 2015 that there was like an uproar of 21 Pilots fans. Like, it was getting serious. And this was funny because I obviously am a Fueled by Ramen street teamer, and I had got sent Blurry Face promo. So I had received these stickers and double-sided posters. If you haven't subscribed and you're new because of this 21 Pilots video, this is going to be part of the giveaway. Tell your friends. So we're at Bonnaroo. My dad is super excited because he wants to see 21 Pilots because he had not seen them before that time. And the gates are open for the main stage and people are running like cattle. It is insane. And my dad just darts off. It's hilarious because I knew that we had to wait for Billy Joel, so I was going to go straight to the Billy Joel line that was at the end of the night. Because I had seen 21 Pilots before, and I didn't take it like the fact that my dad had never seen 21 Pilots and I could just go watch 21 Pilots and then get in the general admission line for Billy Joel. So my dad runs, like, to the stage. I call him on my phone, and he's like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm in line for Billy Joel." And he's like, "I thought we were watching 21 Pilots." My dad was so angry, like so angry. So I convinced him to come back so that we didn't lose our spot in the Billy Joel line, which, take into consideration, this line that you wait for a Billy Joel is not that far from the stage. So even if, you know, we are seeing 21 Pilots, we're still going to see them really close because the general admission line is like right next to the stage. So 21 Pilots comes on and the audience is just filling it. But I forgot to mention, 21 Pilots were 45 minutes late for their show at Bonnaroo. Tyler comes on and mentions that they were trying to get him to sign a waiver and they had like difficulty with that, or he wasn't going to sign it or something. And so anyways, they told him not to climb anything, and at the end of the set he ended up climbing on the sound booth. Now, I'd like to clear something up because after this happened on Tumblr, this is my least favorite thing, where people get gifs of what's happening and they put their own, like, what happened in the quotations when they weren't there. Now, there's this gif of Tyler. If I can find it, I'll put it down below or I'll put it up here, of Tyler running at Bonnaroo. And you see the security guy chasing him. And people put in the description that he was running away from security so he could climb something, or he was running from security. Let me just tell you, he was not running away from security. It is the security guy's job to run after the artist when they go through the crowd. In the middle, even if it's the split part, they have to run after the artist for their safety. The man that chased Tyler when he climbed the sound booth worked a lot harder when Florence the Machine came on after 21 Pilots because she went everywhere and they were chasing her everywhere. That is their job, okay? It doesn't make Tyler cooler because there was a security man chasing him. He was just trying to make sure he wasn't gonna get attacked by any super fans. Anyways, Tyler climbed the sound booth at Bonnaroo and sang the last of the lines, and it was so cool. And my dad was happy and everyone was gelling. I even met a bunch of people that like were there for 21 Pilots, so I thought that was awesome.
Don't wanna give you all my pieces. Don't wanna hand you all my trouble. Don't wanna give you all my demons.
This is the biggest stage I've ever seen 21 Pilots on.
We used to play
Awesome.
pretend, wake up, you need the money. We used to play pretend, money.
This is my last two stories of 21 Pilots. I got to see 21 Pilots at ACL, that is Austin City Limits Festival in Austin, Texas, and they were playing the main stage. 21 Pilots already had a big following now. They had radio play, like their fans had gotten so extremely intense where it ended up where you'd hear a lot of stories about fans getting hurt because they felt like they had a right to the artist. And I want to mention, if you guys are 21 Pilots fans, I know you're aware of this if you've seen them live. So just be kind, okay? Because Everybody loves them just as much as you do, and it's more fun to enjoy it when you're less angry. If you want to be on the barricade, get there early. That's my only advice. Okay, so I get into the crowd for 21 Pilots at ACL, and I am probably like 50 or 60 people back. And first of all, this audience was insane, and it was like 90 something degrees, and they were pushing so extremely hard after Glass Animals went on. And I have been in intense audiences, and I was prepared for this because of the fact that I know how 21 Pilots fans are. And I'm in there, and 21 Pilots comes on, and they did an incredible performance. It's one of my favorite performances they have done because Tyler just let go and fell on the stage, and it just seemed like they were having such a good time because they had such a big following.
Can you save my dirty soul? We could turn back time to the good old days when they think this thing is a highway. It was highway. We'd have the tempo change every other. I just wanna stay in the. I don't care what's in your hair. I just wanna know what's on your mind. I'm not the one you know. I have killed a man, and all I know is I am on the run and go. Darling, you are my demons. Your life don't ask me to struggle from 7 rooms away. I need you to stay. If I knew something great, my lungs will fill and then deflate. They're filled with fire, exhale desire. I know it's dire, my time today. I have these thoughts so often I have to replace that slap with what it was flat. Cause somebody stole my already on, and now I just sit inside.
21 Pilots finishes, and I need to get to the other side of ACL, so I turn around to get out. And usually, like I've mentioned before in a lot of my concert tips videos, I will tell people, excuse me, I'm just trying to leave, just let me out. These fans were packed in so much and so intense that I turned around to leave. I was losing grip on some people I knew, and they were pushing so hard that I got lifted off of the ground. I got lifted off the ground. I never thought in a million years that so much pressure would lift me off of the ground, where I was off of the ground for at least 30 seconds and unable to move anywhere because I was like wedged between sardines. So finally, I kind of raised my voice, and I'm like telling people that we're trying to get out, and I had to use all of my might to get out of this audience, that it was so intense that I just had to sit down after I got out. It was just extremely intense. And I know you guys can relate. If you've had a crazy 21 Pilots experience or concert crowd experience, please put it down below because I want to know. Then the last and final time that I saw 21 Pilots was the next week at ACL, and I watched from the back. I hope you guys enjoyed these 21 Pilots stories about maybe working with them and meeting them and craziness that happened. I just thought it would be fun to include a 21 Pilots story that not necessarily is negative. Check out my 21 Pilots shirt. Do you love it? Make sure you hit that subscribe button and thumbs up this video so that we can hit 2K, and you might have an opportunity to win some old promo, because I'm not only giving away old 21 Pilots promo. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that, but until next time, have a great day, a great night, and a great life. I'll see you very soon. Bye!
I can't take them on my own. Oh, I'm not the one you know.
I actually just recently surprised my dad with a 21 Pilots shirt because he is so nice to me and takes me to so many shows without me even knowing that I wanted to give back to him. And I really hope that we get to see them when they come back around, and I know all their tickets are sold out, but I'm just gonna pray to the 21 Pilots gods that they let my dad see 21 Pilots close, because I think it would make his whole life Does anyone agree with me that like this does not represent them as people because they're such happy, ridiculous humans, and this is like, how hard can you look? All the 21 Pilots stories in this little black book. Actually, just all the concert stories in this little black book. You never know. You never know.